is no one seeing the pieces in play here. I'm a Canadian. Like, I don't even live in the country. And this is so fucking obvious to me. I'm just looking at this and I'm like, holy fucking shit, everybody. The Senate race is here. This is a golden opportunity. What are you doing? What the fuck is wrong with every one of you? How are you this inept? How are you this inept that me, a jabroni over in Canada, is like, this is it. This is the moment. Anyways, hey, before Dave comes on the show, and he's coming on very shortly, I do want to quickly rattle out two quick things. One of them being the force the vote. You understand what's going on right now. It is the biggest schism in the history of leftism. The leftist community online has never fought before. We've never been at arms with each other. We've never even been at odds with each other. Normally, it's just a panacea of Care Bear loveliness. It's just people holding hands, emanating love from their stomachs or their genitals or however that cartoon worked. It's been a while for me. So yesterday, a message from a handful of people. This one got retweeted by a handful of the Majority Report crew. And let's just say this is something salient from one of the greatest, well, the GOAT. We'll just say the GOAT.
Dude, if you want to do politics, you got to fucking understand the issues. It's not all just emotions and fantasy life. Or if you want to do emotions and fantasy life, then own it and just do critique. And that's great. But don't call people who actually care about the process and bother to do some fucking research dummies because they look at things a little bit structurally. It's an easy hustle. It's an easy market. It's an easy game. But it's not contributing to anything. It's not going to help us win. And to me, it seems like, if anything, at this point, this is helping Trump.
This is when Trump was in power.
If we have to fight neoliberals, we have to fight Trump, we have to fight establishment Democrats, we have to deal with the corporate hegemony, we have to deal with ideological conformity of a global elite, do we really need to spend our time on YouTube just giving people dumb emotional releases? Or actually help them think about how they actually get power? And I know that was spoken like a true fucking corporate sellout. The fuck out of here, man. Do some research. Get serious.
He was calling Jimmy Dore out before it was cool. Before the kids even knew who Jimmy Dore was. And that was a time, by the way, when we got a bit of a calamity going back and forth. There was a bit of a play. You may remember, if I could recap very, very quickly, the $2,000, or should I say the $600 stimulus checks that may or may not be coming your way. This was a long and strange battle. One in which the original bill had the $600 checks attached to them, and it seemed like it was going to go through, and that was going to be the end of the drama. This huge omnibus bill was going to combine with a whole bunch of other stuff, and that was just going to be history. Wait, I'm getting all these Fs. Wait, is the stream gone? Are you effing me? Oh! Yes, F's. You got to be more specific. You can't do that. You can't do that. You get. I'm sorry. You can't use the code for the stream is dead and also be like, well, this one was actually from Michael. When let's get on the same page here. All right. I feel. Do you know what F typically means? Door lathering him up. I think y'all are lathering me up. That's what this sounds like. I'm greased up for the occasion. Oh, there's like 300 of you right now, all playing with my emotions. But yes, F's to pay respect, obviously. He's the GOAT. Anyways, if I can quickly recap one last time, the back and forth, as it were, the $600, it was going to go through, gets to Donald Trump. Donald Trump decides, hey, I hate Mitch McConnell. I'm going to do this strange power play. I don't want to sign this. I'm going to veto this bill until people get $2,000 and until we stop adding the gender reassignment surgery for Pakistani children that was in the bill. For the first time, you may not have heard of this. Radio silence on the $500 million for Israel, stuff like that. Anyways, this is a great opportunity. The Democrats now have a chance, if they're going to use something called the spine, not something I know anything about, but again, they have an opportunity to play this perfectly because the president of the United States has now said he's going to hold this bill hostage unless it gets $2,000. The Democrats should be totally fine with that. So they added that. They said, okay, fine. Hey, here's the amendment, $2,000, boom, passes the House, off to the Senate. And now the only choice is Mitch McConnell has to face against the president of the United States as well as the American people who are probably sitting at home It's a tough sell. Don't get me wrong. They're really good at tough sells in the right wingosphere. They're good at that. But this is still a really hard pill to swallow. One in which, hey, by the way, you're not going to get $2,000 because reasons. Because Mitch McConnell says he's not going to be bullied by the Democratic establishment. Now, this back and forth would go until the point that makes Mitch McConnell look horrendous, because he's basically holding hostage this $2,000. The American people will eventually turn to the side of that. They will break, and this will be terrible for the Georgia runoff. You know this because everyone, including right-wing pundits, are saying this. Like, Mitch McConnell, what are you doing? This one looks terrible. Like, this is a battle you can lose. I now truly am in the camp that Mitch McConnell cares more about human suffering and whatever strange pleasures he's deriving from that than he does about virtually anything else. That was going to be it. That was the end of the story. Till today, where once again, the Democrats caved. They caved. And fuck me if the whole thing wasn't pointless again. That's why we keep pointing towards people like Chuck Schumer, like Nancy Pelosi, and saying that they're ineffective because they don't put up a fight. When push comes to shove, like it's happened before. It's happened with government shutdowns. It's happened like government shutdowns on the behalf of the president for something asinine, like asking for a border wall, right? If that's he's like, I'm not going to let the government open up or get anyone paychecks or clean up garbage or shit like that until we get our massive, beautiful wall. That's an easy win because you can go back and forth. You're like, okay, fine. Everyone should realize that you are doing this as a petulant child, right? Unless you break. If you break, then Mitch McConnell once again wins. Now, why is this important? Right now, we've got this schism going on between the left. A lot of people amongst the left are fighting each other because there's this idea of force the vote. Now, they're not directly related in any way. We're talking about two different branches of government, the House, the Senate. But the idea is basically, can we oust Democrats? Can we oust progressives? Can we show their true hand in a theatrical, ceremonial vote on Medicare for All, which will not pass the Senate, but we will get everyone on the record. To me, at this point, having gone through this now for weeks, it's becoming more and more just like it seems to be a call for attention for Jimmy Dore. And unfortunately, he has pulled in people in his orbit who now genuinely believe that this is going to be the be-all, end-all for Medicare for All. Yesterday, he held I don't know, a festival, if you want to call it that. It was called Force the Vote Town Hall, which was a virtual town hall hosted by Jimmy Dore on the Jimmy Dore Show, featuring a cavalcade of guests, big names all over the place. And this was supposed to basically really push this point home. Instead, we got this wonderful little moment.
They're not accountable to anyone. I get 10 to 12 million views a month, and they won't come on and address my progressive audience. They won't come on and address Bree's audience or Katie's audience or Justin Jackson or you. They are not accountable to us. They're accountable to whoever the fuck themselves. Let's not kid ourselves. As Chris Hedges taught us a long time ago, the people attracted to politics are the most mediocre of people. They're not your friends. They are elected servants, and start fucking treating them that way.
I hear Brownie is
One more time, for anyone who missed it. They won't come on my show, so they're the bad ones.
They're not accountable to anyone. I get 10 to 12 million views a month, and they won't come on and address my progressive audience. They won't come on and address Bree's audience.
Yeah. I've said from the start, that's what this has been about in terms of Jimmy. All right, in terms of what Jimmy's doing here. Because again, it's as if I came on this show and I was like, Jagmeet Singh is refusing to come on my show after he played Among Us with me and Hassan, because Hassan's more famous than I am, but he won't come back on my show. So clearly, he's an enemy of the people. He's an enemy of the people. He's an elected fraud, and we should hold him accountable. And I say, you know what? Let's remove the pog from pog meat. No more. All right. Hashtag no more poggies. That's all I'm going to say. And everyone join me. And I'm going to have a town hall so everyone joins me and understands, and we can out him, and we can get all the other MPs to vote. We can get all of them to vote on this hashtag remove the poggies. Yes, that's right. And any MP who doesn't is accountable to me. To me, not the people. That's the whole point here, right? Yes, they are elected officials. They're accountable to their constituents, not to Jimmy Dore. And trust me, I want AOC to go on progressive media. I have no idea why anyone doesn't want to come on your show, Jimmy. Could it be that you just scream like fucking... Anyways, that notwithstanding, but I completely understand, you know? I think that they should go on progressive media. I think there should be more, like, they should be utilizing people like us. We are never expanding, growing rapidly. One of the fastest growing online media has to be these burgeoning left-wing institutions. I agree. They should be doing that. At the same time, there's no holding them hostage. Like, you aren't just the people. It's not just you. The people isn't a YouTube channel. It's the people. That's the thing. And yes, screaming at them and calling them frauds. Like, is there any surprise why they don't want to come on there? You know, I mean, if anything, they should be going on Jeff Waldorf's show. Jeff Waldorf will be much calmer, much more collected. But yes, being incredibly entitled. And by the way, in the midst of all this, I know these are separate matters, but here's a list of people you can shame, everybody. Here it is. Here's the people you can call and shame. Not for hashtag force the vote so Jimmy Dore gets them on the show, because these are the 41 Dems who voted to squash the debate on the $2,000 checks so that now it's over. It's done. It's no more. These are the ones who were like, you know what? I'm fine with this. Baldwin, Bennett, Blumenthal, Booker, Brown, Cantwell, Cardin, Carper, Casey, Coons, Cortez Masto, Duckworth, Durbin, Feinstein, Gillibrand, Harris, Hassan, the bad Hassan, Heinrich, Hirono, Kane, Kelly, Leahy, Manchin, Menendez, Murphy, Murray, Peters, Rosen, Schatz, Schumer, Shaheen, Sinema, Smith, Stabenow, Tester, Udall, Warner, Whitehouse. There you go. There's the list. There's the list. Every single one. You got them. So... these are the ones that you might want to give little phone calls to. Not on the list, of course, Bernie Sanders. Not on that list, Elizabeth Warren. You know, gotta give credit where credit is due. Senate Democrats just gave McConnell a majority of the yes votes needed to advance the defense bill without holding a vote on the $2,000 checks. It's done. It's over. They conceded. It was always a possibility that Democrats would get too scared to halt a major Pentagon bill in order to help millions of Americans get their $2,000 survivor checks. In fact, we wrote about this earlier. It was very likely that they would back down the moment any bad faith critic came so much as waved the flag and said, support the troops. It's true. It's true. There's absolutely no stopping. There's no like, what about Army? Oh, Army. Oh, yes. No. How much money do you need? Oh, yeah. Do you need more money? Yeah, no. We'll print money, whatever you need. Yeah, no. We love Army. Army's great. Yes, no. Yeah, support the troops, of course. Yeah, 9/11 was bad. I'm against it. And capitulation became even more likely when the Clinton-era Treasury Secretary Larry Summers, corporate Democrat pundits, and billionaire-owned elite media outlets began parodying a series of eerily similar let-them-eat-cake talking points against the survival checks, which McConnell promptly used to bludgeon proponents of the bipartisan initiative. But even appreciating all of this, and also knowing that many Democratic leaders still cling to an outdated austerity ideology, the sheer scale of Wednesday's Democratic surrender was truly a sight to behold, and it probably ended the chance for a more immediate aid to millions of Americans facing eviction, starvation, and bankruptcy. The day began with Senator Bernie Sanders following through on his promise to deny unanimous consent for the Senate to advance the $740 billion defense authorization bill until the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell allows for an up and down vote on legislation that would send $2,000 survival checks to individuals making less than $75,000 and couples making less than $150,000. Sanders' move forced McConnell to ask the Senate to pass the formal motion to proceed on the defense bill, which would let Republicans move forward on the Pentagon priority without a vote on the $2,000 checks. The motion created a moment in which the Democrats could have stood their ground and cornered the GOP leader. Not to mention, that would have made them responsible for all of this. You forever could have been like, this was the GOP's fault. The GOP took $2,000 out of your pockets, every single one of you, and I know you need it. Instead, as Republicans saber-rattled about the need to pass the defense bill, 41 Democrats ostensibly voted with McConnell, 41, allowing him to move the defense bill forward without a vote on the checks. That included yes votes from Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, the lead sponsor on a bill to give Americans monthly $2,000 checks during the pandemic. One day before her vote to help McConnell, Harris had called on Republican leaders to hold a vote on her legislation. Only 6 members of the Senate Democratic Caucus mustered the courage to vote against McConnell's maneuver. Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Chris Van Hollen, Jeff Merkey, Ed Markey, and Ron Wyden. Hey, all of you, the only ones with spines, with gumption, with grit. Grit, that's the key word here. Grit, tenacity to hold back against this. Democratic senators, in fact, provided the majority of the votes. The Democratic senators provided the majority of the votes for the measure that lets the defense bill proceed without a vote on the $2,000 checks. So there's nothing to hold them hostage. So it's over. It's over. It was called a motion to proceed, but it really was a motion demanding Democrats concede, and they instantly oblige him. It didn't have to go this way. Had most Senate Democrats voted against the motion, they might have had a chance to deny McConnell and stall the process. After all, 5 Republicans also voted against the measure. And you know what? It's true. It's all true. But they never would have. They never would have gone the distance. You know why I know that? Because they never have. Because every time this comes push to shove, the other side is so good at weaponizing it. What was McConnell's defense yesterday? Because did everyone see it? It was that I don't want to have to acquiesce to pressure from the Democrats. That's it. I don't want to be bullied. That's a very easy thing to push up against. I would just be like, yeah, you're bullying the American people by letting them starve, sir. There you are. Easy. There's a soundbite that took 2 seconds. Didn't even have to think much about it. But no. And of course, the right-wing media was going to find their spin on this. Everyone was taking sides. It was going to be like, well, at the end of the day, this is the Democrats' handouts, welfare, I don't know, bootstraps, something. I don't know, anything. But money talks. Fuck money talks. And $2,000 in the pocket of every American. Trust me, there ain't no spin on that. When they received those checks, and guess what? Those are the same Americans, those 70 million Americans who voted for Donald Trump. Donald Trump is also saying that this is the thing. So you had that. This is a rare play. This opportunity does not come along very often, okay? Republican President Donald Trump has called for Congress to pass the $2,000 checks, but Georgia's Republican Senators Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue, who only this week started pretending they support direct aid, were nowhere to be found. They skipped the vote, effectively refusing to use their power to deliver relief to the roughly 2/3 of Georgia households. Wow, right before the runoff election. Can you imagine? Is no one seeing the pieces in play here? I'm a Canadian. I don't even live in the country. And this is so fucking obvious to me. I'm just looking at this and I'm like, holy fucking shit, everybody. The Senate race is here. This is a golden opportunity. What are you doing? What the fuck is wrong with every one of you? How are you this inept? That me, a jabroni over in Canada, is like, this is it. This is the moment. This is hashtag force the vote. Like, goddamn, why are we fighting each other? Jimmy? Why are we fighting each other? Why are all of us fighting each other? Why is it like these are the true leftists, these are the bad leftists, blah, blah, blah. This is it. Not only does every American get $2,000, on top of that, you could win the Senate. You would have control. It's all there in front of you. Every piece is for the taking. Holy shit. This was a gift. By the inept President man-child who is so petty, so goddamn petty, that at the end of the day, he's like, I hate Mitch McConnell more than I like logic and reason. So yeah, I'm going to firebomb my own party, the GOP, and the Senate all at once because I hate Mitch McConnell. Here you go. And still Mitch won. How? Oh, sorry. It is also theoretically possible that the fluid dynamics of the closely contested Georgia Senate races where the Democratic candidates are competing for the $2,000 checks may compel McConnell to relent and allow the vote to the direct aid if he suddenly feels it's necessary to hold on to his job as a majority leader. So yes, Sanders' pledge to lock the gates and prevent the Senate from going home for the New Year's holiday is valuable in the sense that he's playing for time, holds out the chance of unforeseen events to shift the dynamics. But unless there's some game-changing event after Wednesday, McConnell was almost certainly correct when he said the 2,000 check initiative has no realistic path to pass the Senate. And of course it doesn't, because there's no reason to anymore. Is he going to do it out of the goodness of his heart for the first time? Is that going to happen? Is it just going to be like, oh, well, you know what? It grew. It's no longer the size of a peanut. It's now a kumquat. The New York Times' Paul Krugman pretended that widely popular initiative is divisive. The economics aren't very good, Timesman told Tom Friedman, who married into a real estate empire, called the idea crazy, and fretted that checks might go to people who don't need the help. Yeah, you know what that means? It means you gotta mean test it, because if you don't mean test it, then you know the poors will get it, but then there might be one of the non-poors who gets it, and that's why. So let's just not give any of them anything because of the one affluent rich person who's like, I'm gonna get $2,000, which means nothing to me. Because again, I burn money for sexual pleasure. The millions of billionaire Mike Bloomberg joined in with the House editorial demanding Congress block the checks. Meanwhile, only weeks after the Washington Post news told the harrowing tales of rising poverty and starvation in America, people are stealing more. They're not stealing more because it's like to get kicks. They're stealing more out of necessity. That's why shoplifting is going up right now. That's how that works. You know, poverty begets crime. That's basically it. The Post, which is owned by the world's richest man, Jeff Bezos, argued against the 2000 checks, saying it is unjust that some rich people might, in theory, end up benefiting from the proposal. Again, means testing. That's mean testing 101, in case you didn't know. That's the idea that, of course, there might be one or two rich people that actually get this as well. It's the same thing with people who want to fight against UBI, because it's like, well, but does Jeff Bezos get UBI? Yes, he does. And guess what? You know how you pay for UBI? You tax the fuck out of Jeff Bezos, all right? We shaved Jeff Bezos' wealth in half, and there you go. There's a fuck ton of money to spend on people. It doesn't matter if he gets $2,000. He should have to pay millions upon millions upon millions of dollars for this in the distance. So yes, it'll be a lark. It'll be fun. It'll be cute. He gets to open that envelope and see the check and be like, haha, this isn't even close to true. Indoor dining was recently shut down in New York City and DC. Restaurants are fully open in most states, and an unfortunate number of people are still flying. All of this noise was quickly weaponized by McConnell, who in the Senate floor speech directly cited Summers in the Post as justification to stop the $2,000 checks. Well, what do you know? There's the fuel he needed, right? So some of the poors might get the money, but then there rich people might get it too. This article by Bloomberg, written by one of the owned by the world's richest man, is saying that this might happen. So watch out. There's no good economic argument for universal $2,000 checks at this moment, McConnell said, floating, swimming in money. Even the liberal Washington Post today is laughing at the political left, demanding a more huge giveaway with no relationship to the actual need. Let that sentence sink in. Even the liberal Washington Post today, that part who cares, is laughing at the political left. Here's the clue. Demanding more huge giveaways with no relationship to the actual need. To the actual need. The millions of Americans who are unemployed, who are about to become homeless. Yeah. Then he concluded by parodying the pundits, declaring the Senate is not going to be bullied into rushing out more borrowed money into the hands of the Democrats' rich friends who don't need the help. The Democrats' rich friends who don't need the help. Mitch McConnell's worth $34 million. $34 million. McConnell's absurd attempt to pretend that he doesn't want to help the rich was boosted by Texas Republican Senator John Cornyn, who also cited the Post editorial and then insisted the legislation give $2,000 checks to individuals making less than $75,000 is about helping the millionaires and the billionaires. Neither McConnell nor Cornyn even attempted to substantiate their allegations because it's nonsense, but they didn't have to. The Democrats were already in the process of folding, and the corporate media was more than happy to run the interference. In the end, millions of Americans struggling to survive will likely be left with just a one-time $600 check. All 80 U.S. senators rubber stamp uploaded defense bill to show support for the troops, and then tell the poor to eat a roll call vote. And that's it. That's it. That's the story. And it's going to happen again. That's the end of 2020. Basically, you know, the guillotines did come out. Everyone's been talking about the guillotines. I mean, we even got those how to make guillotines in Home Depot shit, except they came down on the heads of the poor. That's it. I mean, fuck. It's not even metaphorical if people are going to be homeless and starving.
What lies around the corner? Never knowing who's going to kill you. Are you the next one to be murked? You never know if it's a friend or a foe. If you want to see the biggest names in BreadTube and Left Twitch and Butterthing and I don't know the fucking names anymore, come see Left Among Us.
If you want us to advertise your channel or work, please go to weareserfs.com and email us a 20 to 30 second ad, and we'll take it on to the end of one of our videos to help promote your leftist channel or progressive something. Whatever you do.
To our God, I'm Rast, Xander Corvus, and Schlatsky, we shall commit blood sacrifices in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, our lives are yours to command. To our lords, Jeffrey Lamb, Trevor R., Stephen, Hans Josephine, Poppy Nelson, Ryan Lubin, Jimothy K. Meeblebeeps Jr., we bow meekly for your pleasure. To our Knights of the Round Table, Josh Mickelson, Dylan Byth, Zach Christensen, Todd Buckingham, Todd Lajeunesse, Political Puppy, Jimmy Bignuts, Andreas Chitoro, Good Poon Hates Cops, That's Solid Poon Then, Dr. Zayas, Yoppy, Violent Orchard, Sophie Baby, Jack Darko, Thomas Barretton, J. Fraser Cartwright, Goofalankius, Melissa Murphy, Nicholas Marks, Alexander Thaler, Ali Rada Jaffer, Alex Gauvin, Radical Maniac, we salute you.